Hello.
Hello and welcome back to the SWAN Pricing Show. Um, my name is Filip Vucic. I'm a pricing mentor.
And I'm Phil Zolota. I'm the professional business mentor.
So today we're going to talk about scaling, so growing your business, let's say, and how it differs from the duck world, from the commoditized business space, right? Because when somebody says scaling, can your business scale? They mostly mean, are you able to teach people parts of your job so that you don't have to do that part of the job? You become a manager, and then you become a manager owner, and then you become an owner and buy a yacht, right? That's the idea. um and it's, I think, mostly this is something that cannot be just replicated in the swan world, in the expertise based services, because you're not going to be able to just teach people to do your job. That's not a thing, right? Not It's not that easy, because you are selling mainly confidence in your abilities, trust that you know what you're doing.
Mhm.
So this is always a problem with bigger agencies, because you're going to talk to some really capable people at the kickoff, and then they're going to send you some interns, and everybody knows this, right? And presumably the big wigs will look at what the interns are doing, but you know.
And then you have a fiasco.
Yes, and this is one of the lures. This is one of the reasons why some people prefer to work with individuals, because then I can gauge what you know and actually get the job done by you. And this is also something that makes scaling in a classical sense hard, because I think the closest example of how these things can scale, if you hire more really capable people, not somebody that you will teach. Well, maybe some things, but mostly you take on formed individuals, and in a very small culture, a culture of one, culture of two, culture of three, each individual looms very large. So there's no option of getting people completely on board with your culture that your clients are what used to, and there's all sorts of problems, right? But that doesn't mean that you are doomed to be limited by the amounts of hours that you can work in a week, because there's different kinds of scaling. Some of these may not be classically thought of as scaling, but they're still scaling. So the one that comes to mind would be, um, raising your price. Original,
Mhm.
from coming from me, I know. um, because when you raise your price, you can afford to work less hours, and then you can also afford um, to spend less time with existing clients, so that you can find more clients. So you're getting the same amount of money for less time. Or, more popular these days, I think, are all of these courses and workbooks and do it yourself, stuff on Kajabi. And so that's the dream, right? You're sleeping, and somebody is engaging with your knowledge, and you're just getting more and more money for this. And these things have a tail, so you can go away to Bali for a month, and you're still going to get money. Or you, in a less fortunate situation, you get sick for a month, and that doesn't matter, bills still get paid. So there's a lot of these let's say alternative ways in which you can scale as an individual, right? But I'm interested in your perspective in this, because you have you have a company that's been going up and down in the number of employees
Mhm.
a couple of times, I think.
Yeah.
So most notably, you didn't lose people, or they didn't lose you during the pandemic when everybody was shedding people. So I'm interested in your perspective on scaling in general
Yeah.
for expertise-based services.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one of my favorite topics because I completely agree with you. People are perceived scaling. They have simply a misconception about it. Um, in general, people see scaling as adding more resources, adding more people to the team, and that is the only way to scale the business. Okay, as you mentioned, in a duck world, it works that way. In an expertise-based business, it's something completely different. Practically one big thing which can help and support your business scaling, price definition, optimization, and everything combined with service productization. You can dissect your service offer in several fields and practically open up all the new opportunities within the added income streams like e-learning, special workshops, consultancy sessions, wingmanship, etc., etc., etc. So many opportunities which can truly help and support your devilish endeavor to scale the business, but in profit, not in headcount. I am big advocate of solopreneurship and professionals who in joint venture do amazing things. And I see the future of business exactly in that. In the end, as you mentioned, for my growth marketing agency, we were having an in-house team working with contractors, etc., etc. The point is, nowadays, our entire infrastructure and system is being built on foundation of senior contractors working from all over the globe, working on various projects in various industries, and that's it. That gives us the agility, the flexibility. Also, in the same time, we can dictate the famous no, because I don't need, as a business owner, to catch new opportunities, businesses, and constantly striving and looking for new gigs. Why? Because we have a repository of stable clients, customers, partners. We have an optimal system which is feeding all involved, and we have an amazing playground for scaling and building our own products, sub-products, and services. The system also gave me an opportunity to be in a shareholder partner role, mentorship role within other businesses. Because when you set up business right, you're practically making a buyback on your time and working with specific set of clients, type of client, profile of clients in specific price range gives you that flexibility and agility to do according to your plan. I also have a bunch of people around myself who never believe in a concept of contractors. Yeah, but if the person is not in the company, they won't be devoted so much. They can leave wherever, whenever. It's wrong, because if you have a team, and I have people who are sitting by my side for 10 plus years, and they are going nowhere. Why? Because we are together for a reason. In joint venture, do everything together, and they are my not only trusted source, but my partners in business, where we can do whatever needed, and it is truly a joint effort. And that is what I see as the future in business. Professionals, the experts combined in joint venture and delivering the best possible solution out there. Because no matter the niche you're looking for, no matter if you're talking about marketing, the branding side of the business, some development company, SaaS, etc., all those scenarios, especially when you're looking at the perspective of international market, are being made from top-notch seniors, professionals, knowledgeable people who also have their own businesses, but in joint venture collaborate and deliver solution to their clients and customers. So my practice is exactly like that. That is something which I'm nurturing for quite some time. and it's great about considering the organization, scalability, and everything. Because in the end, as mentioned previously, you don't need to catch every opportunity which lands on your lap or on your table. You can truly make a proper segmentation and work only with those with whom you want to work with, and that's it. That is big thing in the realm of expertise based business, especially in the swans realm. That gives you the leverage, the power of saying no to the situations and scenarios you don't want to by default be involved in, not just because of sake of need, because you have, for example, free developers with which now don't have none of the projects on which they should be working on, and you need to fight for new projects simply to pay their wages. It's a joke. It's the atavism in business.
Atavism, I like
Yeah.
it. So I particularly what rang in my mind. Firstly, you said scaling in the sense of profits, but not in size, but in profits. So this is, we can't call it growth, but we can call it development.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to grow, as David C. Baker says. I'm working really hard not to have to grow. Right. If I didn't work at it that hard, I would have had more than a few employees by now. So you have this experience within this company. I have this experience within my last company, because it was a bad time to have a company, and I felt responsible for all of the people and their families and their kids and their sick grandmothers, and I didn't do the part of the job that I knew how to do best and enjoyed, and this is not something that I'm searching to emulate. So, as you said, collaborators, sure, but I know I'm not their only source of income, and I'm completely fine with this, right? So development, as in scaling in profit, absolutely. I also have a goal that I want to reach of income, after which I want to stay in that income bracket and just work less to achieve this. Yeah. So I don't want to go up above a certain level of engagement within a week, which for now seems to be working just fine. But also, you talked about return on time, right? Which is also something that is developed or scaled. And I think this is something that I had to learn the hard way. My initial name for my business was Houston, because Houston, we have a problem. When you have a problem, you call Houston. So any business problem that you have, yeah, I can solve it. I can hack it. I can do something about it. I'm college educated. I had my own company. I was a manager. I was in direct sales. I have many different, and I had many clients before, whatever number of clients they were. So, and this meant that I had to rethink, rebuild everything from the ground up for every client, because every client was different. And I wish I could tell you I figured it immediately, that this was not just not scalable. This was simply way less profitable, because it was fun. Don't get me wrong. Because I like challenges, but one challenge that this didn't present is what to do with all of this money, because it simply takes too much time and too much energy and to be frank, the clients don't necessarily get the best of you, because you're figuring it out. Now, Don't get me wrong. In our realm, it's fairly easy to figure things out. You're not going to, blindly fumble in the dark for the client. No, you have a pretty good idea what you're doing. But that can barely be compared with the same potential applied over and over and over and over on never the same, as you know, but a similar situation.
Yeah.
And then after a while you develop the like sixth sense, and you come to a room, and sometimes you can just look at the people's faces and say, don't tell me. There's an Excel table. You have been firstly it was all professional. By now you're already calling each other names over this Excel table, and you cannot figure out what the price, right? How do you know? This is my 17th time and counting, let's figure this out, right? So this would be the first step. This would be the second step. So it's not like, okay, well, let's try it like this. No. Let's not do that. Let's try it like, so it's, of course, it takes less time. So of course you have more time to do, I don't know, marketing or more work or something that's not work related. And then you can go back fresh. So scaling when it comes to profitability, scaling when it comes to free time is absolutely scaling. And also, and that this is also something that I did abysmally, and I lost a lot of money, like thousands and thousands, on trying to get other people to sell for me. As a personal brand, let's say, this is really a challenge. So I've worked with some wonderful people that have really good results, but I've basically never gotten a dime of it back because it doesn't work. Because it's about me, it's about what I know, it's about, like I said, personal trust. I mean, I can have a brand, right? Nominally, I can have a logo. That's what I wanted to say. But the brand is me.
Yeah. You're actually the face behind. And when you put aside the logo or a brand, in that sense, nominally, people are building relationships with the people. In the expertise-based business and realm, you're not buying some well-established brand in terms, I don't know, the purse, the watch, something like that. You're actually, if you're looking for some of the solutions for your business, you're looking for a professional who can help you and support you. And that is always some person behind. And you are connecting all the dots and making a meaningful relationship with that respectable person, not with the brand. And
so that's another way in which firms in the duck world can thrive. So you get some ads, or you get some salespeople that ring some doorbells, not literally these days, but they ring some email addresses, and something happens. In my experience, you do that and nothing happens.
Yeah.
So if I grow through the materials, so the free value, right? The newsletters, the podcast, the social media posts and networking. That works. That's personal enough. One is personal, the other is well, one is social, the other is parasocial. So people just have a feeling that they know me because they've seen me so many times. I haven't seen them. it's a weird feeling. I met a YouTuber that I was following for a long time, and my reactions to her were like, we've known each other for a long time, and we just met, but I've seen her talk so many times that to me it's a social relationship. It's a parasocial relationship, right? And this is what I like about newsletters as well, because I write one to many, but then they can simply reply, and the conversation is seamlessly starts to be one-on-one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've responded you back, I think last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly.
You now help me remind one interesting thing I also want to share. One devilish case and scenario how I am killing the heroes of my respective clients who I'm mentoring in business. Quite often I'm asking them, okay, please take some company you find interesting and you would say that it is your ideal state in the future. Okay, cool. We find the company, then we dig deeper. We are talking, the people who are mentoring, they're saying, yeah, they have so many people in the company, etc., 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 etc. Cool, cool, awesome. And then I open up financial statement and then make and expand the financial structure to my client, simply to explain them, okay, for example, their income is like this, the profitability, etc., but also in the same time their headcount is like that. How it compares to your ideal case and scenario in terms of future and business profitability. Yeah, I don't want to be there. Okay, so we are not here for collecting team and adding more and more and more people to the story and to our company. We want to build your highly profitable business as the expert, as a consultant, whatever that person is working professionally. And that is something which I find quite liberating for them in opening the eye, because they understand, okay, this for my hero, they aren't my hero anymore, because it's a paradigm switch, because their perception was one thing at a time, but when we were dissecting the actual state of the business, it gives another message, information, and the picture, and that was very, very, very helpful. Thanks for reminding me.
Very cool. So I think of course somebody can say, no, I want that yacht, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or I want to train some people so I can retire and just leave my audience, my clients, my patients to somebody else, and I can go and sit under a palm somewhere and just check what's going on sometimes, and that's fine. So if you really want to scale by hiring, then basically trying to already find a done copy of yourself is a better way than in trying to train people from the ground up, unless you enjoy that kind of work. But it's much harder. It's much harder than something, there's a lot of services which you can learn the basics in half an hour, and not to be horribly dependent on other people in like 2 weeks, and after 6 months you're just as good as anybody else. This is not the case in many in much of the SWAN world. It just isn't. And the cases are too different. The clients' cases are too different, and it's not a switch, right? You can say the windows are clean or they're not clean, but you can say this guy is coached or not coached. Has he been coached? Well, yes. Okay. By whom? For how long? Right?
Yeah.
This is this is absolutely not a switch. It's you can call it a lever, right? So it can be more or less coached.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine came up with these terms, switch and lever, but I like it, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a good connection. Yeah.
It's very illustrative to the difference that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So when you have a classical organization, you have a lot of switches and you can easily check. So has the new employee done this, this, and this? Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, very cool, right? Now you can pull some levers, you can be the boss, right? But when it's this undefined, then it's much harder to even know what's going on. And I have done this mistake. I have blindly said, oh yeah, so I have a company, I have too much work. Great, that means that I employ more people, then I employ more people, then I employed even more people, and then it all fell apart. So I'm not doing that again.
I'm done with that, right?
Yeah. I've absorbed the lesson, got the scars, and now we can go on. Right?
Lesson taught.
Yes, lesson learned. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so what would be the sum up? Don't try to grow like you're in the duck world. That like what you sell is easily taught. It's probably not. And that means that employment is much slower, much harder, and it's a viable choice like 50% of the time, and a wise choice 20% of the time, I think. And other than this, try to develop, let's say, your profitability, so get to the same financial result with less time, which means charge more, or it means have assets that you can sell, which are low touch, right?
Mhm.
I think that sums it pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. I can just sign that. And the only thing I would add there for our audience is following your words and your sum up, to not to believe in sunshine and rainbows often seen out there, because in most cases, I mean, quite often, 70+% there aren't real. All those stories and flashy symbols, how everything is look amazing in terms of operations, company size, etc., etc., etc. Because quite often people are feeling they aren't up to the game because they see the competitor or somebody else, they're more successful. Based on what?
I'm reminded of a dear old professor of mine that we asked him a very student question, student-y question, and it was, so what's the most important part of a company? And we're talking about bigger companies here, so 100+ people. And he said, well, so is it finance? Is it marketing? Is it sales? Is it operations? He said no. The most important part of a company is the one that's ailing the most right now. So if you look at a company as a living being, it will. So if it's a deer, so if a leg stops working, it dies. If the stomach stops working, it dies. So whatever the problem is the most important part. He said, okay, yes, obviously, but what if there's no problems? And he said, oh, then you became a knight of the round table because you found the Holy Grail.
Exactly.
So, happy Grail hunting, everybody.
Yeah.
Philip, where can people find you?
People can find me on LinkedIn and also my consultancy page, mentorship page, philipzalota.com.
Right. I'm on LinkedIn, obviously. Recently, also I'm back on YouTube and TikTok, and all of the podcast platforms. With the What I Should Have Charged series, which features a certain Mr. Philip Zolota tomorrow. So you can check that out. It was a very, very successful episode. So yeah. Thanks for listening. See you next time on the SWAN Pricing Show.
Take care. Bye bye.